Okay, this is question number 23. We're going to put this expression in radical form. So 8x to the 4/5, the root is on the bottom. It's only talking about the x, so the x has the root of 5, and it's to the 4th power. Okay, so that's the answer to that one. Looking at number 23, skip over all those. 24, sorry. A volt costs this much, it decreases that much. How much will the volt be worth in 12 years? So you're going to use the amount is what you start with. Your amount that it costs, what you start with, we'll call it P. We're going to do 1 minus R as a decimal and raise it to the year power. So for this one, your amount left behind is going to be its initial value, 1,600, times, since it's a decrease of 13%, if you start with 100%, you minus 13%, you're going to have 87%. As a decimal, that's going to be 0.87 to the years, so 12th power. Again, on your calculator, you're just going to punch those in. You should be able to do the whole system, the whole thing here. 1,600. 600 parentheses 0.87 because it's a depreciation to the 12th power. And your answer is 3,851. Rounded would be that answer. Next question is 25. Write the explicit formula for the geometric series. Find the 5th term of the sequence. This is multiple choice, so if you just find the 5th term. So I'm going from -4 to 8. That's a multiple of -2. 8 to -16, multiply -2. 16 to, if I multiply by -2 is 32. If I multiply again by -2, that's -64. So this is a multiple choice question. You just have to know that the 5th term is -64. It'll appear like this. A sub n equals the first term, -4, times -2 to the n minus 1 power. You want it in explicit form. But if you know how to do this part, the red part, you're all set. Moving along, catapult launches a boulder upward at a height. How long does it take the boulder to reach its maximum height? What is the boulder's height? Okay, so we're looking for the zeros of this function. This is going to be using a quadratic formula. You're going to go through this to find out the time, and I think once you find the time, you're in pretty good shape, or you can figure out, it's multiple choice, you can figure out from the multiple choice what the time is. But let's just do the quadratic formula. So -128 plus or minus the square root of 128 squared minus 4 times -16 times 30 all over 2 times -128. Now, since it's -128, this question here, we're going to do the -1 is going to be our answer, the one we want to go with. When we calculate this on your calculator, you should get 4 seconds. That's your p-value. Okay, that's the minus sign will give you that, and then you're going to plug that 4 seconds into this function here to get your y value. That comes out to be 286 feet. Again, make sure you know how to use your calculator, and you can use it quickly. -16 -16, 4 squared is times, -16 times, well, let me do it as it says, 4 squared, right, plus 128 times 4. Just filling in my T's is 4. Plus 30. I think I have that typed in right. 286. That checks out. Okay, moving on to 27. Question number 27. Okay, so these are still all multiple choice. If it says population, go for exponential. Exponential is y equals some a value, which is your start, times your b to a power of x. Your starting value here is 98. We have to figure out the b value. So how do we figure that out? 74 divided by 98, that should be equal to 57 divided by 74, should be equal to 43 divided by 57, should be equal to 33 divided by 43. And if I calculate, let's do the last one, 33 divided by 43 is 0.76, 43 divided by 57, 0.75. Again, this is multiple choice, so you'll see your answer divided by 98 is about 0.756. You put 0.76 here as you round it, and that's your answer. Again, multiple choice, a little easier for that question. Looking at this one, simplify this radical. Radical 8 breaks up into a 4 and a 2. This is 2 radical 2. Radical a squared is a. Just divide by 2. Radical b to the 4th. If you divide 4 by 2, you get b squared. So my answer is going to be 2ab squared. Radical 2. And again, it's multiple choice, so not too bad of a question. Moving on to 29. I got to break this up. I got to realize that 9 is perfect square. So I'm going to break up radical 80, radical w cubed, and the bottom is just going to be square root of 3, or square root of 9, which is 3. Now I'm going to break up the top. 80 is going to break up into 16 times 5. Radical 16 times radical 5, which is 4 radical 5. And w squared, again, do the division thing, is just w squared. Doing the division thing is just w. So if I put all this together over 3, I get 4w radical 5 over 3. Oops, I'm sorry. W is the third power. My bad, I wrote that wrong. So this is the third power. All right, let me clean that up. Sorry, that's the wrong word. W to the third power divided by 2 is going to be 1.5. So that means 1 on the outside, and then the 0.5 means 1 on the inside. Sorry, I read that wrong. Daniel Sloan is laughing behind me, and I'm trying to do this video. Question number 30. The length of a window side of a rectangle have a ratio of 1.8 to 1. So ratio of 1.8 to 1. The rectangle length and size have a ratio of 1.8 to 1. So this length is 1.8. This is L. You can do that way. So it's going to be 1.8 is one side times the other side is equal to 3976. This is going to be 1.8 L squared equal to 3976. I'm going to divide both sides by 1.8. 3976 divided by 1.8. That gets me 208, and I'm going to take the square root of that. So if we divide by 1.8, I leave that on my calculator, and I can just take the square root of that, second square root, second answer, and I get 46.9, 46.9, which is about 47. So L equals 46.9. which is 47. And then to get the other side, I'm just going to go 1.8L, which is 1.8 times 47, and that's going to give me my other side, which is 84.6. Again, this is a multiple choice question, so you can see the answer. Not too bad. Moving on. 31. Okay, this one's a little bit more trickier. It's quadratic formula, and you're going to use the plus of the quadratic formula. I'll give you that hint ahead of time. So negative 3.9. So we value x equals negative 3.9. Plus, we're going to do the plus the square root of b squared, 3.9 squared, minus 4 times a, Nathan be quiet, 0.04, and 4ac times 6.7, okay, all over 2 times negative 0.04. When you put this on your calculator, you come out to, question is this 31? Oh, it says A here for, oh yeah, it says A for an answer. So you'll get that for an answer. I'll let you put that on your calculator. Moving along here to 32. Okay, this negative side means that, well, first of all, it's a square root. Square root of x is a swish that way. A negative would be an upside down swish. So you are dealing with either A, C, or D. This one's going to go back 2 and down 2. So which one's upside down, went back 2, down 2? It looks like it can only be answer C, and that is correct. So again, know what happens here, and you'll be all set. Multiple choice. Moving on to 33, 34, and 35. 33, calculate the average rate of change. Okay, so you're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the slope formula. So my y's are produced here. So the cube root of 1/2 x2. So 1/2 negative 2 plus 4 minus the cube root of 1/2 negative 8 plus 4 all over negative 2 minus 8, or minus 8, my bad. That's going to get me half of negative 2 is negative 1 plus 4 is 3. So it's the cube root of 3. And this is going to be 0 over here. Half of 8 is negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Over negative 2 minus 8 is negative 2 plus, so it's going to be that. That comes out to be 33 is 2.24. Oops, 2.24. On your calculator, that would look like 3 to the 1/3 power. Hit that enter, divided by 6 is 0.24. Okay, solve this equation using square roots. This is pretty quick. Add 16, you get 2x squared equals 30, 40, 50. Divide by 2, you get x squared equals 25. Square root both sides, and x equals plus or minus 5. Pretty quick. This one here, add 10, or add 100, sorry, add 100. You get x squared equals 100. Take the square root of both sides. X equals plus or minus 10. 35, 36. 36 is where the part 2 starts. So we'll pause.